Hello and welcome to my YouTube channel. If you're regular here, you know I review many photographic, audio and video related products. Now today we're taking a look at a lens that has been sent to me by the manufacturer for review. They won't have any input in this video and they won't see it any sooner than what you guys and girls do. So my views are going to be totally my views. They've had no input in it. But the lens we're looking at is the Viltrox AF 56mm f1.7 lens, and I've actually got it fitted to my Fuji X-T50. Now they make this for the Sony E mount and the Fuji X mount. I chose the Fuji X mount because I'm using a lot of Fuji cameras at the moment, but the Sony E mount version is exactly the same, just a different mount. Now it's an APS-C lens. It is designed for the APS-C bodies, and the beauty is it's really light and compact. Very, very lightweight, 194 grams. So if you're using this and you want to put it in your kit bag, you wouldn't even know it's there. There's no weight to that whatsoever. Beautifully made. It is a plastic construction, but a very high quality plastic. So it doesn't feel cheap. It actually feels very premium, very high quality. Now they do make a 20mm model, which is both again for the Sony E mount and the Fuji X mount. I've got the 20mm ones here. This is a wide angle lens. Again, same sort of construction, same build quality as what the 56mm one is. Now the 56mm is a short portrait lens. It's a short telephoto lens. So that's about 84-85mm in full frame terms. So brilliant for doing your portraits. I've got some nice portraits I've done of me cats. I will be doing another video with this lens where I actually will be photographing Willow and doing some portraits of humans with this lens, probably using my XS20. I've got the Fuji XS20 here. I've got the Sony lens fitted to that at the moment. Sorry, the Sigma lens fitted to that at the moment. So I may use the XS20, or I might even use the X-T50. Now, I've taken a lot of photographs with the X-T50, the XH2 and the XS20. Now, the X-T50 was a challenge. Also, it was a challenge with the XH2 because of a 40 megapixel sensor inside the X-T50. I was relatively concerned that this lens wouldn't be able to resolve what this sensor can produce. So I thought the photographs might not be that good. In fact, when you take a look at them on Flickr, I will leave a link in the description of this video where you can find these photographs on Flickr. Take a look at them there rather than studying them on this YouTube video. I'm only going to flick through them anyway on this video, and YouTube's compression isn't great for looking at the quality of photographs. So take a look at them on Flickr. But the X-T50 has produced some beautiful images with this 56mm lens. Also, take a look at the price. I'll leave again a link in the description of this video where you can get more information about this lens and where you can buy it from. And the price is staggering. Well, when I say staggering, I mean staggeringly low, not staggeringly high. It's a really, really cost-effective lens. I was going to use the word cheap. I don't like the word cheap, but I will use the word cheap actually. It's a really cheap lens, but it doesn't come over as cheap. It is nicely made. The build quality is great. The feel and handling is great. And I've been using this for about a week or so now, and I've had no problem with the handling of it. Now, there is no weather sealing in this lens. You'll find there is no rubber gaskets on the mount. So do be a little bit cautious when you take it into bad weather. If you're doing photographs in the rain or whatever, just be a bit conscious of that, particularly with the likes of the X-T50, as that has no weather sealing either. So could be a bit of an issue. But if you're using it on Sony cameras with a Sony E mount, you might find that will be different. Your mileage may well be different there. But the actual lens itself has no weather sealing on. It does come with a plastic lens hood. It's quite a nice lens hood, nothing exciting, but it does fit on there quite nicely. But I do find it's not the tightest to fit, so it does turn slightly. But because it is a telephoto lens, it's not going to impinge on the results of the lens. I haven't found any issues with, even if it has turned, I haven't found any issues with, it vignating on the actual images. So yeah, nice lens hood, nice lens, really good dampened focus ring. So if you are into manual focusing, it's really well dampened. and really, really nice. There is no buttons on the lens. It is what it is, just no buttons, which makes it, again, really, really nice and compact. So yeah, I really like the lens. I like the optical quality of this lens. And I say, being that it's 56mm, its widest aperture is f1.7. So that is great for getting that lovely bokeh, that lovely separation between the subject and the background. The specular highlights are great. The outer focus area looks really soft and really creamy. It's nice. Again, I've got the Viltrox 75mm lens. I'll leave a link at the end of this video where you can take a look at the review of that, well, several reviews I've done with that lens. That is an awesome portrait lens because it's an f1.2 and it's a pro lens. But this is not one of our pro lenses. This is just your standard 56mm f1.7. The other beauty with it being 56mm, you haven't got to be that far away from the subject to get those lovely portraits, and I think that is great. Certainly in my studio, it's really quite small, so I don't have to, knock a wall down to be too far away to be able to use a lens. Where with my 75mm lens, or the Viltrox 75mm lens, you have to be at quite a distance to get those lovely portrait images. You don't have to with this lens, and look how compact that is. I know it's on the XT50, which is a very compact camera body anyway, but I think that works great. Now, if we have a look at a few of these a few of these photographs, you'll see how well that works. You can see how well, again, images are lovely and sharp, but the background throws the background out of focus quite nicely. You can see in this image here that it's thrown the background out of focus and the foreground. And that's a great thing with an f1.7 aperture. You can throw the background and the foreground out of focus. Just be conscious though that you do get the focus point exactly where you want it, because the depth of field is very narrow with an f1.7 lens, certainly on a 56mm lens, because I say it's equivalent to about 85mm in full frame terms. Yeah, great definition, great colours. The contrast with this lens is really nice as well. It's hard to think actually that this lens is as cheap as it is, and I use the word cheap. I hate the word cheap. It's around the 170, 180, 160 pound mark. So it's not an expensive lens. So if you're only taking portraits casually, you're not doing that many portraits, it's the ideal lens to get, because you're still going to get great results. You can print these results, but you're not going to be spending a fortune on a lens that you won't be using all the time. You can see here again, it's thrown the foreground out of focus and the background, and it's nice and creamy, and little Sam has come out beautifully sharp. It's really, really nice. But again, you have to be conscious with that f1.7 aperture. Now, again here, it's thrown the background out of focus lovely, it's nice and creamy, and even he's out of focus. It's only his eye that's in focus. The rest of his body has gone out of focus again because of that wide f1.7 aperture. So creates a lovely effect. It draws your eye to where you want to look at, because that's what's going to be in focus, is his eyes. So yeah, very, very nice. Yeah, again there, eyes in focus, but the background is nice and creamy. It looks really nice. It's a soft bokeh. It isn't harsh, and that's what I really like about this lens. So yeah, great little lens, 194 grams, so no weight to this lens whatsoever, as I say. So put that in your kit bag and not be concerned about it. The only thing, as I said earlier, is the fact there is no weather sealing. There is no rubber gasket on the mount of the lens. But would you really expect that at a price that this lens sells at? I wouldn't expect it for this sort of money. I say it's not expensive. So there we go. It's got an STM motor for focusing as well. So the focus isn't the silentest. It isn't incredibly silent, but it's silent enough. You can use it for video. I've used this lens in the studio for video, and I will be using it for video. Again, I keep harping back to the fact you can set it at f1.7, get the background nicely out of focus. Bit like I've done with my Canon R8, albeit that's a full frame camera. I've got my Canon 50mm lens fitted to that, the RF 50mm lens fitted to that, and I'm shooting at f1.8, and that's throwing my background out of focus quite nicely. So yeah, really nice way of getting that separation between the foreground and the background, is to use a lens such as this 56mm lens. And I say, because it's equivalent to 85mm in full frame, the compression is really nice, the facial details look really nice. So yeah, it's a perfect lens for your casual portraits because it isn't expensive. So there we go. That is the Viltrox 56mm f1.7 lens. I love it. I'll leave links in the description of this video where you can actually purchase it from. And I don't think you're going to be disappointed. And remember, it's not only available in the Fuji X mount, it's available in the Sony E mount as well. For the APS-C bodies, you wouldn't want to use it on a full frame Sony E mount body because it would still crop it to the to crop mode. So that would be a bit pointless on a full frame body. So ideal for your A6700, A6600, and all the other cameras, A6500, whatever you might have, it'll work beautifully for. There is no in-lens image stabilization in the lens. It is a very basic lens as far as that is concerned. But again, most of the modern cameras have in-body image stabilization, such as my Fuji X-T50. That's got IBIS in the body, so I don't need it in the lens. And even if you're using it on a camera body that hasn't got IBIS, just increase your shutter speed slightly so you don't get blurred images. So it's not a big deal whatsoever. But yeah, great value for money. Lovely dampened focus ring, quite a nice lens hood. Yeah, very good value for money lens. So there we go. Hope you found that video useful, and there will be more videos on this lens because as I said, we'll be taking some portrait photographs with this lens, and I'll add them to my Flickr page so you actually can take a look at them. So there we go. Thanks very much. Hope you found this video useful. Please remember to subscribe if you haven't already done so. And if you like the content of this video, hit the like button. That would really appreciate that. That does help me grow the channel. So thanks very much. Cheers for now. Bye.